Hello back. Welcome to my channel Purna Educare. In today's video, we are going to solve some kind of questions from the data interpretation category. So you can see the entire content of the data interpretation in the question slide, whatever it might be. Now let us see the first question in this marathon of the data interpretation. So moving forward, we have some items like journals, magazines, books. This is a part of a tabulation model question. You can see in the column we have an items, in the row we have an year wise. In the 2012, 2013, 14, 15 we have journals. So try to understand the figures, whatever the figures they have given, this constitute of like, these are the denominated in the value of the lakhs. Okay, they have given the value in the lakhs, whatever the value, like for example this is 46 lakhs. Okay, in the same way. So moving forward, what is the question? In 2015, in 2015, so approximately what percentage of total revenue came from the books? So total revenue came from the books. So first, for example, we should know first what is the value of the total revenue and what is the value of revenue we got from the books. So automatically we can get the value of percentage, right? Yeah. So percentage, now again we are moving forward, like percentage of books revenue is equals to revenue from books by total revenue into 100. Now let us find the value. So what is the amount of in 2015, what is the amount we got from the books? It is like 78 lakhs, isn't it? So 78 lakhs is equals to 78 lakhs divided by total. What is the value of the total? It is 173 lakhs. Yes, 173 lakhs into 100, isn't it? Yeah, we have zeros cancel. Now 78 by 173. You can just calculate the value of 78 by 173. You will be getting the value . Yeah, see 78 by 173 is like 0 point. Yeah, 0 point. So 173 into 4. Yeah, 4. Again moving forward like around 4, 5. Yeah, so 0.8. Simple logic. So whatever the value we got into 100 is equal to 45.08 percentage. 45.08 percentage, which is closely to 45%, isn't it? So option A is the right answer. 45% is the right answer. So what is the second question? You can see here the number of years in which there was an increase in revenue from at least 2 categories of items. See, we'll see. Try to understand the question here. Is asking at least 2 categories increasing in the revenue. Okay. You can see here journals. How many years there is a kind of increase? First of all, try to understand. First, in at least 2. In 2012, do we have any increase? 2013, yes, we have increase. Okay. Again, do we have increase? No, we don't have increase. Again, 31 to 39, we have increase. 38 to 46, we have increase. 46 to 51, we have increase. Fantastic. Okay, so 73 increase, 78 increase. Okay, so we have increase over here like 2012, 2013 we have an increase, right? Again we don't have in all the years increase. So only one, at least in the at least 2 categories we have only one, that is 2013. Only in a year, that is 2012, 2013. Only in this year we have increase in sales. Next question. If the year 2016 were to show the same growth in terms of the total sales revenue as the year 2015 over the 2014, then the revenue in the year 2016 must be approximately. So here we have the question. What is the question? In the year 2016, were to show the same growth in the terms of total sales revenue as the year 2015 over the 2014. So what is the change of 2014-15? What is the change? Try to understand. $169 minus 173. What is the difference? Yeah. So the difference like 4 years. So sorry, it's like 4 lakhs. 4 lakhs. Okay. 4 lakhs is a change in the sales. Now try to understand. 4 lakhs is a change. In the same way, now what is the value of sales in the year 2015? Yeah, we have 173. And if the increase in the 2016 is like 4 lakhs, what is the value? It is like 173 plus 4 is equals to 177 lakhs. This will be the answer. Option D is the right answer. So option D, if there is the same growth as 2015 over 2014 with 2016 with 2015, then automatically the 177 lakhs could be the turnover. Yes, we are going to solve the new type of question. Try to understand. When we doing, just move forward. You just find out. Yes, just you find out. Try to observe the content. So you can see here the table showing the details of expenditures incurred by T. Gardiner. So T. Gardiner during the years 2008 to 2012. Note that the expenditure reported is in the crores. The value has been given in the values of crores. Try to understand. So years we have given 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have given the list of some expenditures. Yes. You can see the salary, fuel, bonus, interest on loans, taxes as well. Okay. You have all these expenses. Now moving forward, what is the question is like, the average yearly expenditure. The average yearly expenditure on interest on loans during the period 2008 to 12 was approximately. So try to understand. We need to understand what is the average yearly expenditure. Average yearly expenditure on interest on loans. So what is the formula for the ways? Wait a minute. Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So what will be like? So try to understand what is the formula for average. Yes. Average is nothing but sum of the observations divided by the number of observations. Yes. Average. Okay. Total sum. So find the total sum. 2008 interest on loans. So what will be the total value of the sum? So total, that is, so how can we calculate, like 4.68, 6.50 plus 8.32 plus 7.28 plus 9.88. Okay, this is a total sum, and we have divided by 5. So the total will be around 36.66 divided by 5. So 36.66 divided by 5. So we can just move like we can go for 1070.33. So 7.33. 7.33 crores could be the right answer. I hope this is very clear. Yeah, next question. So bonus as a percentage of salary is highest in which year? Again we have to calculate. He has clearly given the bonus as a percentage of salary is the highest. First of all, we should find the bonus percentage of bonus in the salary in all the years. So in the 2008 we have bonus of 0.6 by salary. What is the salary? They have given 57.6. 57.6. So what could be the value of 0.6 divided by 57.6? Yes. So if you go for it, which is not possible. So like 0 point, we can go for 0 point. If we go for 0 point, we will become 6. 6 also not divisible. Again, if you go 6, yeah, we can go. We will be getting 60. Yeah, 57.6. 1 0, 51.6. So which is like very hardly 1%. Okay, it is in the year 2008. In the 2009, 0.5 of the bonus in the total of 68.4. 0.5 by 68.4. So around we have around 0.0073, which is hardly 0.7 percentage. Okay. So again, in the 2010 we have bonus of 0.76 crores by 64.8. 0.76 by 64.8, like we are getting 0.0117, right? Yeah, which clearly again it is showing like 1.17 percentage. Yeah, 1.17 percentage. Again going forward 2011, in the 2011 we have 0.74 is a bonus amount. 0.74 divided by 67.2 crores is a salary. So percentage will be like 0.74 divided by 67.2. So like we have again, yeah, 67 we cannot directly divide 0.02. Again we will be having 0.2, which comes under like 74. Again 0. Again it comes like go for 7. It will go for 74. So again 74. What does it mean? 1 times it will be going. So yes, 1 time and again 1 time. So what does it mean? 1.1 percentage. Okay. In the 2012, what is the value of the bonus? 0.80. So what is the value of salary? 84.0. So 0.8, whatever the 0.8 divided by 84, like we are getting 0.009. That implies 0.9 percentage, right? So whenever we compare the percentages in all the years, we are we will be getting the highest value in the year 2010. So 2010 we are getting the 1.17 percentage. I hope this is very clear. So first of all, we have to find the percentage of the bonus in the salaries in all the years and just go with the year which has the highest percentage. Percentage, the value of bonus divided by the value of salary into 100 is the percentage value. See, we can see the next question is like in the which year was the total expenditure was in the which year the total expenditure was highest in the of all the expenditures. So you need to first of all you need to find the value of the total expenditure overall all over the 5 years, over the 5 heads of expenditures, whatever the expenditures listed in the table. What is the total expenditure? What is the total expenditure been recorded? So first of all, you can see here in the 2008 we have to calculate the totals. So what will be the total for the year 2008? 2008. So in 2008 we have 57.6, 57.6, 19.6, yes, 0.6, 0.6, 4.68, 16.6. So what is the value? You just find out. Okay. In the 2008, so go forward to the total. Yeah, we will be getting the value around 99.6, 99.6. So 99.6 crores is the value. 99.6 again. For the value, we will be recording here. It is 99.6. Okay. So moving to the next year. Moving to the next year. Now, if you total, just a total, you can see here what will be the value. 2009 value 68.4 plus 22.4 plus 0.5, 6.50 plus 21.6. So we have 119.4 crores. 119.4 crores. Okay, 119.4 crores. So that is in the 2009. In the 2010 we have salary of 64.8 crores plus fuel of 20.2 crores. So bonus of 0.76 crores. Yeah, interest on loans of 8.32 crores and taxes of 14.8 crores. 14.8 crores. That is around we have 108 crores. 108 crores. 100.88 crores. Okay. So in the 2011 again we calculate like salary of 67.2 crores, 26.6 crores, 0.74 crores of bonus, 7.28 crores, 17.6 crores. We have 119.42. 119.42. 119.42 crores. So in the 2012 we have salary of 84 crores plus fuel of 28.4 crores plus bonus of 0.80 plus interest 9.88 plus 19.6. So we have all around like 132. 132.8 crores. So when we compare the things, yeah. we compare all the values here, we are getting the highest value is 132.80 crores. 132.80 crores, which is a part of 2012 years value. So the highest expenditure is in the year it is in the 2012, and since the option has been not given, the 2012 value has not been given in the options, we can go for the second highest. The second highest is in 119.42, which is in the year 2011. We have a highest expenditure in the 2011, which is 119.42. I hope this is very clear. Good. Moving forward to the next question. In which year the percentage growth of the expenditure on salary as compared to the previous year was more than 10%? Is more than 10%. So try to understand the question. In which years percentage growth of expenditure on salary as compared to the previous year was more than 10%. So try to understand the question. What is the value of percentage change, percentage growth change? Percentage year change is equals to, so what is the current value of current year minus previous year divided by previous year? Okay. So let us go forward for example, let us take 2009 and 10. 2009 and 10 if we take, so what is the value of salary? Salary here, that is 64.8 crores minus 68.4. So it is just decreasing the value. So he is asking clearly that increase for growth. There is no growth in the 2009 and 10. Moving to the 2010 and 2012, if you clearly observe 2010 and 2012. Yeah. So check out 2008 and 2010 and 2012. So what is the value of current year? 84 crores minus 64.8 crores divided by 64.8. Okay. So let us take the value into 100. Is equals to 84 minus 64.8 is 19.2. 19.2 by 64.8 into 100. Okay. 19.2 divided by 64.8 into 100, it's around, like we are getting 0.2962 into 100 is equals to 29.62, which is above 10%. Above 10%. So he is asking more than 10%, right? In the which year? Option B, 2010 and 2012. Okay. Yes. Very good observations. Now try to understand the next question. In which year the expenditure of the taxes and interest on loans was less than the expenditure on fuel, etc. Expenditure of taxes and interest on loan altogether was less than expenditure on the fuel. So first of all, we should know what is the total value of interest on loans and taxes, total value, and compare with expenditure on the fuel. So now let us take, and we need to know is less than, right? Since they have not given 2008 in the option, we will start with 2009. In the 2009, interest on taxes, expenditure on taxes and interest on loans. We can see here 6.50 and 21.6. Okay, 21.6. So what is the total value of 6.50 plus 21.6? 1, 1. So 22, 28, 28.1. Okay. So 28.1. Now what is the value of fuel? It is 22.4. So which is highest? Fuel is highest, or altogether interest on loans and taxes is highest? So try to understand. Expenditure of taxes and interest is less than. Here it is more than, right? So since 28 is more than 22.4. So option B, it is not 2009. Coming to 2010, if we take, what is the value of togetherness? Yeah, 8.32. Yes. 15 plus 8, 23. Yes. So 23.10. 23.10 is more than fuel, 20.2. Again, we don't have, yeah, in 2010 also it is not satisfied. So in 2011, we consider, what is the value of 17.6 plus 7.28? Yes, 25 like around 88. So 24.88. Okay. So 24.88 is less than fuel. Wow. Simple logic. 2011. Yes. You can see here 26.6. So which is highest? Fuel is highest. So value is less. Yes. The 7.28, the total of the interest on loans and taxes is less than the fuel amount. So it is in the year 2011. Yes. So we are just about to move into the next type of the question. So we have tried to understand the question. The table shows the data on the production, exports and per capita consumption of rice of country P for the years 2012 to 2016. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand the table. Yeah. We can see the next type of problem, which is related to the production, exports and per capita. Right, per capita. So we can see a few concepts like over here. See, if you clearly observe the data, they have been given like the production year-wise, exports, per capita, and also they have given a logic over here. The per capita consumption, whatever the values they have given, they have derived that value by dividing the consumption in millions with population in million. So consumption by population, they got per capita. And how did they get the consumption? See, from in any area, the consumption will be calculated on total production, and from the whatever the production, the amount of exports we have to put aside. So the remaining balance is like consumption for our country, right? So consumption is the value of the production minus exports. That is called as consumption. So the consumption divided by the total consumption in a particular year divided by population will go for the per capita consumption, right? I hope this is very clear. So let us start with the first question. So what is the population of the country in the year 2014? What is the population of the country in the year 2014? So first of all, we should know the value of, so we have to consider the 2014 values. So these variables need to be considered. So going, what does it mean? So population, as we people know, the population is nothing but again per capita is equals to total consumption divided by population, right? Population. So using this formula, we can calculate the amount of population, right? I hope this is very clear. Yeah. What we will be doing? We will be solving the question. So we have to be very clear in getting the value of the population. Yes? Yeah. So they are clearly specifying in the year 2014. 2014. So clearly observe what is the value of say population again. You can see here there is a formula called as say per capita consumption is equals to consumption in million cases divided by population in million, right? Yes, yeah. So going forward, per capita, what is the value of per capita they have given? Per capita consumption, per capita consumption in the year 2014, it is 38.7. So 38.7 is equals to consumption in million divided by population in million. Consumption in the million divided by population in the million. So try to understand what is the value of consumption. Consumption is nothing but again we have consumption formula here, production minus exports. So here we have consumption by population, consumption by population, right? Consumption is nothing but difference between production minus exports divided by population. Yeah, very good. Now try to understand, we have production, we have exports. So in the year 2014, what is the value of production? Yes, you can see here production 238 minus what is the value of exports? It is 130. Yes, 130. So 238 minus 130 divided by population. You can see here we don't have any value. See, population is equals to 38.7. Yes. Now so yeah, that implies population is equals to 238 by minus 130. It is 108 by 38.7. So 108 sorry by 38.7. So you just find the value, you will be getting the population. divided by 38.7. Okay, so that is like around we are getting 2.79. Yeah, so population is 2.79 millions. So option C is the right answer. I guess you understood, right? Yeah. Moving to the next question. The ratio of exports to the consumption in the given period was highest in the year. So first of all, we should know the ratio. What is the ratio of ratio? What is the question they are asking? Ratio of exports is to consumption. Exports is to consumption. So we have to find the consumption for every year. Say consumption, let us take consumption. Consumption is nothing but production minus exports. So try to understand 186 minus 114. 66 like 72.5. Yeah, 72.5 is the consumption. Yes, again, yeah. So again we have here 88. Okay, so 88 is the consumption. In the 2014 we have 108. Again 108. Difference between Difference between 238 minus 138 is nothing but 108. Okay. Now, in 2015, 221 minus 116. 221 minus 116. So 221 minus 116. 105. Yes, 105. 105 is the consumption value. So what is the value of consumption? What is the difference between production and exports here? 255. So 215 is 88. So 12, 115, 115 plus 12, 127. So this is a consumption. Now ratio. Go for the ratio. So ratio is like, what is the ratio value? So here the ratio is asking, what is the ratio here? So in the 2014, '12, 2013, 2014, 2015. They have given the 4 options, right? In 2012, what is the value of the ratio of exports to the consumption? So 114 is to 72.5. So in the 2013, it is like 114 is to 88. Okay. In the 2014, we have ratio of 130 is to 108. Yeah, 108. So in the 2015, we have exports of 88 is to 127. So these are the ratios. Now the question is, what was the highest in the year? In which year it is highest? So if you clearly observe like the things, so in the 2012 it was the highest. So since you can get the good value over here, 2012 is the highest ratio you have. Okay, I hope this is very clear. So we need to find the value of consumption using the formula. We need to find the value of consumption. We need to go with the ratios. That's it. See in which year the population of the country was highest. We need to find the value of population. As you know, we have discussed here consumption. See, using this previous slide, you can get the consumption values. So here we have 72 point. See, consumption 72.5. 72.5. Again we have. Again we have 88. Yeah. Then we have 108. Again we have 105. Then 127. Yes. So this is a consumption, the value we have over here. Now we need to find the population. Population, right? Population. So population, how can we find? You can see here per capita consumption. Per capita consumption is equals to consumption by population. Consumption by population. So be very specific. Be very specific. No. No. Yeah. So population. We need to find the value of population. So in 2013, since they have given options 2013, 14, 15, 16. So 4 years is enough. Yeah, 2013. So what is the value of population? So population again. Yeah, population formula is population. Population is equals to. So see, they have given per capita consumption. per capita consumption is equals to consumption in million cages by population in million, right? Now population is nothing but consumption. Now population from the value consumption divided by per capita. So this is the formula. So in million you will be getting, in million. So population in million you are getting consumption by per capita, right? Simple logic, yes, yeah. Consumption by per capita is the formula to calculate the population. Now, so let us start here. For the population of 2013, here we have a consumption like 88, right? Yeah, 88. How did we get the consumption here? So difference between production and exports. We have got consumption. So consumption divided by per capita income, that is 35.2. So 35.2. It is around like 2.5. So 2.5. We got the value. So 2.5 millions. So here we have 108 divided by 38.7. 38.7. It is like 2.7 millions. Here 105 divided by 40.5. 105 divided by 40.5, it is again 2.59 million. Here we have 127 divided by 42. Again we have around 3, right? So 3.02 million. So this is the value of population. So we have highest population in the year 2016, that is 3.02 million population. 3.02 million. So in the year 2016, so highest. He was asking in which year the population of country was highest. So answer is 2016. Option D is the right answer. So what is the average consumption of rice in the million cages over the year 2012 and 2016? So try to understand here. Please try to understand consumption. First of all, we should know we can use this consumption for the data for the next question, right? Yes. So you just take the average of all these things. 72.5 is the consumption. See consumptions. Let us take the value of consumptions. Consumptions. So 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. So consumption values 72.5, 88, 108, 105, 127. So 127. So all these are the consumptions. Now average. What is the value of average? Average is equals to sum of all the observations divided by number of observations. Okay. Now try to understand. Sum. What is the total sum? 72.5 plus 88 plus 108 plus 105 plus 127. Yeah. So now the total sum of all the observations. What is the sum of all the observations? If you add total value, you will be getting like 500.5. Total is 500.5. Now here, just look here, average is equals to sum is total 500.5 divided by number of observations. Number of observations we have 5. So what is the value? 100.1. 100.1 is the value. 100.1 is the value of average consumption of the rice. I hope you have cleared all the questions. You just revise the content. It is really too useful. We can expect this type of questions in the UGC NET and all other competitive examinations. Hello. So we are moving to the next type of question. If you observe here, they have given a table. The table consists of various subjects and the number of students who have appeared, students who have passed, students failed, the number of students failed, and the maximum or full marks in the subject. They are given this kind of contents. So using the data given in the table, we have to solve some questions. Study the table given below carefully or above. It shows the number of students appeared, passed and failed in the 5 subjects. The full subject, the full marks, the full marks in each subject is also given. Some of the cells have missing data. You might need to determine some of the missing data to answer the questions below. Okay. Yes. Now try to understand. See, so try to understand out here. The number of students appeared is number of students passed plus number of students failed. It is a very general topic. So, very general topic. Like, yes. You see here, like, as you people know, the number of students appeared is equals to number of students plus number of students failed, right? Yeah. If you clearly observe here, so 36 students failed out of 600. What does it mean? Remaining are passed. So 600 minus 36. 600 minus 36. So like 264. 264 is the students who passed in English. Then what about the mathematics students? So we have passed plus failed. 240 plus 60. It is like 300. 300 students. Total 300 students appeared. So in the science we have 300 students appeared. Passed are 216. So what about the remaining, like around 84 students have been failed. In the social studies, the total students appeared is 360, out of which 48 students failed. 360 out of 48 have been failed. So what does it mean? 300 what is the remaining students? 312 students passed. Okay. Now in the computer science, we can go for number of students passed 168, number of students failed 32. So 168 plus 32, that is 200 students. 200 students appeared. Try to understand. So the formula here, I am just writing the formula here. Total students appeared is equals to number of students passed plus number of students failed. Number of students passed plus number of students failed is equals to total number of students appeared is the formula. Okay. Now, so we got the content over here, right? So we are going to use this data for the questions. So like, what is the next question? What is the difference between the number of failed students in the science and number of students passed in the social studies? So first try to understand failed students in the science. What is the number of failed students in the science? In the science we have 84 students failed. 84 failed. Yes, 84. And number of students passed in the social studies. Social studies, the students passed is 312. Right? 312. So what is the difference between 312 minus 84? Yes, 8. 228. 228 is the difference. Very, very casual. Okay, the difference between like 312 or 84, whatever it might be. Next, which of the following could be the full marks in the mathematics? The student marks in mathematics was 35% and the person who just passed the scored 70. So what does it mean? He has given clearly, it has been clearly given in the mathematics. The student has passed, the mathematics, the percentage was 35%, pass percentage, 35%. So the person who just passed scored 70. Oh, the person scored 70, he just passed, and pass percentage is 35. So now what is the value of 100% then? Right? Yeah. So you can see here cross multiplication 70 into 100. Let us take x will be the total. So x is equals to cross multiplication 70 into 100 by 35. Yes? Is it clear? Yeah. Now try to understand. So 35 ones are 35 twos are is equals to 200. So 200 is the total marks, maximum marks. Which of the following could be the full marks in the mathematics? So full marks is like 200. Right. So what is the maximum marks? What is the maximum marks that a student can score in all the 5 subjects together? All the 5 subjects together. So in the mathematics in the earlier question we got 200, right? Yes, 200. Yeah. So go for total maximum marks. A student can score is 600 plus 200, 800 plus 400, 1200, 1200 plus 1600, yes, 2000. A person can score 2000 maximum marks. Yes? Very clear? Next. So, try to understand in which subject was the failure percentage the least? Failure percentage. Is equals to number of students failed by total students appeared. Okay. So number of students failed by total students appeared. Right. So yeah, you can just take this information from here. Like, so in the previous slides we got the value of mathematics. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, we will be taking help of this information. Yeah, here we have 200. $264. Mathematics 300. $84. $312. 200. Right? Yes. Now, English. English is equals to, so what is the value of students failed? English, let us take English. Students failed 36. 36 out of students appeared 600. Right? So into 100. Six percentage. 6% in English. What about maths? Number of students failed. In the maths we failed. Students failed 60 out of 300. Into 100. 0000 cancel. 20%. 20% maths. Science. Science again students failed is 84. 84 divided by, so total students appeared is 300 into 100. Okay. 3 ones are, 3 twos are 26. 26%. 26% in science. In the social science, total students failed 48 by 360 into 100. Okay. 6, 3s are 6, 8s are, right? 80 by 3, 80 by 3. So 3 ones are again 26.66% in social studies. What about computer? Computer 32 by 200. 32 by 200 into 100. Yeah, simple logic. 0, 0 cancel. 2 ones are 2 6s are. Is equals to 16%. So these are the failure percentages. Try to understand. We have 6%, 20%, 26%, 26%, 16%. The question is, in which subject the failure percentage was least? Which one is the least amount we have? 6. That is English. English we have the 6. So option D is the right answer. Okay. I hope this is very clear. Next. We are just moving to the last question in the session. So you can take what is the approximate difference in the percentage between the pass percentage in social science, social studies, and the pass percentage in the mathematics? What is the approximate difference in the percentage between the pass percentage in the social studies and pass percentage in mathematics? Pass percentage in social studies, see, we have here, we can take the same data here, 264, 312. Okay, just for convenience I am writing here 84. So maths 300, we have here 300. So computer 200. Okay, now whatever it might be. Here we have 200. Okay, so what is the approximate difference in the percentage between pass percentage in the social studies and pass percentage in the mathematics? Now, pass percentage in social studies is equals to number of students passed by number of students appeared. Number of students passed by number of students appeared. So number of students passed in social studies is 360. 360 low, we have 312, right? 312 by 360. Okay, so what is the value you will be getting here? So yeah, so what is the value? 312 by 360 is like 0.8666. So which is nearly 86.66%. Yes. Now pass percentage in maths is equals to, so 240 by 300, which is 0.8 is equals to 80%. Now we have two variables, two values. So 86.66% minus 80%. So answer is 6.66, which is around 6.5%. So option A is the right answer. I hope you have clearly understood all these things. You don't forget to subscribe our channel. We will be doing many marathons. As of now we are doing. And don't forget, subscribe कीजिए and tap on the bell icon for more updates. I hope you clearly understood, right? Thank you so much. Have a good day and have a good preparation as well. Thank you and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Jai Hind.